The main things we wanted to focus on for me was to really support the three causes I'm really passionate about, and the Recognise campaign to get constitutional recognition for Aboriginal people into our founding document. The Racism It Stops With Me campaign to really bring awareness around what is racism, what is casual racism, and a lot of issues around domestic violence. I've been an ambassador for White Ribbon for over 10 years now, and people ask, why do I support these causes? It is because they are things that have affected me in my life. Racism has been a big part of my life growing up. Domestic violence has been a big part of my life. My stepfather domestically, verbally had violence against my mother. I never saw anything physical, but at times climbing out of my bedroom window and calling the police when things got too loud were things that I had to do as a young kid, just to get a little bit of peace and quiet in the home, and to have two younger brothers to help look after as well. That they were just as scared as I was, and to be able to get a bit of peace and quiet was definitely something I wanted to do. When people ask me about the moment against Collingwood, in Indigenous round, where that little girl called me an ape, a lot of things have happened since then, and the things that happen on the football field, in my mind, are all instinctive. And people ask me, would I have changed anything that happened on that night? And no, I wouldn't, because what I did was stand up for who I was. What we were celebrating that weekend in Indigenous round, and it's something that I've always done in previous games, was stand up when people who racially vilify me. So, from that point in time, a lot of things have happened. A lot of awareness around racism in this country, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. I think a lot of young people have learnt that simple words can hurt people's feelings. Whether they're a 6'3", 100-kilo professional athlete, one little word does affect people's lives, especially people who have grown up with racism in their life. So for me, it's about focusing on the positives. What's the positive out of it all? That we're talking about it. What is acceptable, what's not acceptable. And the messaging going forward is, okay, well, how do we help get into those young minds so in the future they can make better choices around, things they might say at the football, things they might say when they're angry at school, when they're trying to tease some kid. People will make their own decisions on whether my messaging is outrageous and ludicrous. All I'm asking for is a little bit of recognition in our founding document, and for us to be a little bit more, have a little bit more empathy when it comes around to calling people names or calling out things at the football. This role this year has just been an amazing platform for me, getting as much awareness around the Recognise, White Ribbon, the Racism Stops With Me campaign. And when I handed over to that lucky person on Australia Day, for them to then use this as a launching pad for their causes, for their mission next year. But my job doesn't stop there. I'm still going to be the person I am. I won't be the Australian of the Year, but I will be, like Steve Waugh is, a past Australian of the Year, and that will always live with you. You'll always have that platform, and I look forward to using that platform to get out to as many people as possible to keep getting out there and spreading that message.